All right, I want to talk about something that's very near and dear to my heart, and that is the total decline in the popularity of rock and metal these days. And it really sucks. Like all the most popular bands now in rock and metal are still like the old guys. Like the people selling out stadiums are like Metallica and the Foo Fighters and even like My Chemical Romance. They're not as old as the other guys, but these people are getting on with it and they've been around for years. It's like at least 20 years, and Metallica's case 40 years. It's like all the top rock and metal guys are so old. There's no young guys making rock and metal music anymore. I mean, that they are still making the music, but they're not big bands. They're not household names, and it's really bothering me. And I think I kind of know why. And it's two big things, man. It's the DAW, the digital audio workstation, and it's just kind of a lack of the attitude and a lack of like a willingness to be controversial. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think that rock or metal or punk needs to necessarily be like so conformist and so not everyone has to have the same message or the same views with everything. But for some reason people these days think that they do. Like first of all, I got to shout out this guy, The Circle of Tone, this other YouTube channel that I watched, and he's basically like, I've been thinking this stuff for a long time and I've been feeling it, and this guy just was able to really articulate it perfectly. And so I'm very inspired by his video to kind of say this and hopefully spread the message. I don't want to just copy off the guy, but I just think the message needs to be loud and clear, and we can change it. As Ozzy said, you can't kill rock and roll, but it's pretty fucking quiet right now, which is bad. It should be very loud. So I had to give that guy a shout out because he made me think of this. And I just wanted to show some stuff here. Like, I got some memes here. The first one, like, look at this one. This is like some fat lady at a punk show, and here's her vest, and it says all this fucking shit on here, like no hate, no bigotry, no race. Look at all this stuff. No this, no that. No elitism, no homophobia, no transphobia, no anti-Semitism. And then it says stuff like God is gay, right? God is gay. Okay. I notice it doesn't say Allah is gay. But it does say no Islamophobia. But what's wrong with being gay if you're this person? But I'll tell you what's wrong with being gay if you're fucking Muslim. It's just like, it's so conformist. It's just like, if you want to be punk, here's the beliefs you have to have, and here's what you have to wear, and here's this and that, and just like, look at the other shit on here. Like this thing down here, it says like, rejects music by men about their penises, and then on the other side she's got a fucking AC/DC patch, and it's like, have you ever heard their fucking songs? They're like, half the songs are about their dicks or their balls. And it's just like, I really think that people like this, they're just like kind of ignorant. Like, they don't even get they just think that these people like hate everything. Like, no transphobia. It's like, some people just think that you can't change in that way. That's their argument. They're not like hateful people. And just like, this stuff is everywhere, man. This stuff is like, I went to this thing. It was like the punk rock flea market, it was called, in the Philly area. I went there yesterday, and it was cool. They had band T-shirts, they had records, they had the little knickknacks and stuff like that. And but a lot of the people there were wearing fucking COVID masks still, and it's just like, ugh, like, you're so pathetic. Just like, these people. These left-wing people, they go on and on about like income inequality and shit, and like they're anti-corporate, which is good. And then, during the whole pandemic thing, they're willing to just like sit idly by while like literally the rich get richer and the poor get poorer, and income equality, just like fucking Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk made out really good during COVID. I didn't. None of my friends did. But then these people were like such fucking assholes when you said you didn't want to take the vaccine or whatever, and it's just like, fuck you, you know. But I don't want to make this all about like woke stuff, you know. I'm not even saying that that's necessarily the problem. It's just like look, here's another one. But while I'm on the topic, I will finish. Like, there's this one, you know, you can't be punk and transphobic and stuff like that. It's just like, okay, says who? Who made you the boss of being punk? You know. Here's another one. It's basically the same as the chick with the vest. And it says no hate, and it's just like, but don't you hate like Trump and stuff like that? So you're a liar. And then it says no gods, no masters, and it's like, okay, well then how about I criticize this stuff? What are you gonna do when I criticize that? Oh, I'm out of the club now? Not that I want to be in the club. And then, you know, just on top of that, just this is the final thing, and then this is Glenn Danzig says woke bullshit and cancel culture is killing punk rock. This is an old article from a couple years ago. That's Danzig, dude. He was in the Misfits. That's an influential punk band. But I'm not trying to make this like a woke thing. I'm so sick of people complaining about that. It's really not. But it's just like, you can be that way if that's genuinely you and that's genuinely what you believe. But you shouldn't. It shouldn't be excluded. Like, other people shouldn't be excluded for having other opinions or for being critical of this stuff. I don't think. But at the same time, like, there's a lot of like rockers out now who are woke, like, you know, Green Day and Rage Against the Machine, and they're selling out stadiums and people love their music, and I like them even too, and it's just like, that's genuinely who they are. So it doesn't really bother me that much, but it's just like it rock and roll and punk shouldn't like fit into a nice little conformist box like that. And especially punk, it's like, it's supposed to be like chaotic and anarchy, you know what I mean? Like, one of my favorite punk guys is fucking Gigi Allen. Like, is it left wing or right wing if you get human shit thrown at your fucking face? You know what I mean? Like, it's just like, that's punk. You might get assaulted physically, and you might get your teeth knocked out at the show, and the dude might be jerking off on stage or something like that. Like, you might not want to see that. It's gross, but that's fucking punk, man. I mean, that's offensive to everybody, you know? So yeah, I mean, I'm not trying to harp on the like woke people, because again, like Green Day and bands like that are doing more to keep rock and roll alive than like these people bitching about woke stuff, honestly. And it's just, that's just true. Not saying you have to be one or the other to make music or to be in rock and roll or punk, but to me personally, that's not a good enough reason to like hate on people. Some people say it is. I don't know. To me, it's not. But anyway, moving on. And this is the last thing I'm going to say about like left wing, right wing crap. Excuse me. Let me just put my Jewish glasses on so that I can read this real quick. Yeah, this is the video I wanted to watch. So this is the Ramones when they got inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, which is not cool. It's very... But you know, you gotta love the Ramones. And I'm gonna skip ahead. This is Johnny's speech. And I don't know what this weird stuff on the screen is. These little
Our first manager, Gary Kerfurst, who's managed us for the last 22 years. Eddie Vedder for this great intro. All my friends that are here tonight, my wife Linda, and Ramones fans who made this all worthwhile. God bless President Bush, and God bless America.
So there you have it, Johnny Ramone, the godfather of punk rock, the guitar player from the Ramones. He says, God bless George Bush and God bless America. I didn't say that, he did. I'm just saying, you know, there's room for disagreements here. I think that he actually believed that. He wasn't just fucking with people. So, you know, I'm just throwing that out there, just food for thought. But moving on, like I found it hard because I've had my band, and we've been going or I've been doing my own thing with music for like 8 years now, and I'm constantly trying to find like good people to collaborate with and to take these off. And it's just real tough, man. Like people don't want to. It's like they talk out of both sides of their mouth. Like they want to be involved with the creative process, but then I'm sending them stuff and asking them what they think and trying to get them to collaborate with me. And it's just like a lot of times the response is lukewarm or it seems like they don't care. And it's just like annoying because then I'm just like, okay, well then I guess I'll just keep working on it. And then, sometimes you send people a song and you go, what do you think? And they just go, it's good. It's good. It's cool. I like it. It's cool. It's just like, ugh. That's almost worse than saying that you hate it. It's so like general and so like just a nothing kind of response. Like, yeah, it's good. Imagine like a new movie came out and you're like wondering if you should go see it, and you read a movie review and the movie review is just like, yeah, it's good. It's cool. It's like you're like, what is this? Like, what's good about it? Why is it good? Who, like, you know what I mean? Like, what's good about it? So that's a problem I've had a lot, and it kind of makes me like, for a while there, like I can't play the drums, but I can play the bass and I can play the guitar and I can sing and I can write lyrics and write songs. So for a while I was just like, you know what, fuck it, I don't need anybody. I can just do this whole thing myself. And you can do that. And I want to show you this thing here with this is Frank Zappa, okay, who I love, and he's going to talk about recording his album Jazz from Hell. Which, by the way, Jazz from Hell, not his greatest album. But here. This guy's asking about his new tech.
Perform on the keyboard. You could play a composition on the keyboard, which is then stored in the computer memory, and then you edit what you played. Or you can type in information on this keypad here and edit what you played.
Now, does the computer in some way, shape, or form create musical voices? Can you do, I suppose, like trumpets or violins or whatever?
Yeah, you can have any kind of instrument you want, and that's done through sampling.
Yeah. Do you think a Beethoven or a Brahms or a Mozart would compose this way if they had access to this kind of machinery?
Well, if they didn't, they'd be missing out. It's a great machine, and it allows you to do a lot of work fast.
Yeah.
It's like a word processor for music.
Is there...
This next part is the main part I want.
Do you ever think, though, the stuff, the electronics and the microchips can kind of get in the way, though, of the actual true music itself, or what you're really trying to get at?
No, actually, it improves it by subtracting the human element, which is the most unreliable part of doing music. If you've ever employed a musician, you know what I mean.
I thought that was supposed to be part of the creative process, though.
Employing musicians? Yeah. Well, no.
See, so, I can't tell. I think that's a little tongue-in-cheek. Frank is the type of guy where, like, sometimes it's hard to tell if he's being serious or not. But I do think that he was mostly being serious there. But I actually more agree with, like, the reporter guy, the bald guy. Because I think it really does, like, take away from it. Like, it's cool that you can do that. It's cool that you can do a whole song by yourself and you can do all the instruments and you can call all the shots. But you do lose something when you're not using real musicians. But at the same time, like Frank said, it's like you're subtracting the most unreliable part. And that's my whole problem that I've had, like, trying to work with other musicians. It's like, that they just, like, they don't want to learn shit. They don't want to contribute. But then at the same time, like, they want to make all these, like, grand decisions about the band and, like, the direction we're going in and shit like that. And it's like, motherfucker, like, where were you when I was trying to write this fucking song? So I mean, personally, that's something that I've had to deal with, and it's just like it's just kind of annoying. I mean, maybe I just haven't met like the right guys yet. Although I'm not trying to just like talk shit on my old bandmates or anything, because like all my old bandmates have been really great in their own way, and they've been literally like great musicians that are a lot of times better than me even. And I wish them nothing but well going in the future. And you know, they just like they found something that they'd rather be doing than what I'm doing, and that's totally fine. But it's like, if you're gonna be with me, it's like, come on, like let's all fucking do this. So I've had a lot of trouble, and I don't know if other people have this problem too, but it's just like I've had a lot of trouble just finding people that like want to truly collaborate, like want to co-write the songs and really just like, I don't know, just collaboratively write music. And I wanted to bring this up too. So right here I got Black Sabbath's discography, Wikipedia. And Black Sabbath is my favorite band. They're the best band ever. And look at this. Like, here's Black Sabbath's first album, right? I'm going to go to track listing. You can see right here, all songs written by Tony Iommi, Geezer Butler, Bill Ward, and Ozzy Osbourne. So that means every single one of them did something to make that album sound the way it sounds, which is amazing. It's basically like, it's understood now that like Tony wrote the riffs, Geezer wrote the lyrics and the bass lines, Bill did the drums, and Ozzy sang and did the melodies and stuff like that. Here's Paranoid. This is their most popular album. Again, look at it. All songs written by all four guys in the band. Now, Master of Reality is a little bit different because Tony took some of his own credits here, but it's basically the same. All songs written by the four guys except for Embryo and Orchid are just guitar songs. So that kind of makes sense that it's just Tony. And then After Forever, I don't know, I guess Tony wrote the lyrics for that or whatever. So he wanted more credit for that. But then look, you go to volume 4, track listing. Again, all songs written by Black Sabbath. Okay? Which is the four guys. And then Sabbath Bloody Sabbath. Go to track listing. All songs by the four guys in Black Sabbath. Finally, we go to Sabotage. Their last truly perfect album. Track listing. All songs by all four members of Black Sabbath. This is what I want so bad. Like, I just want... Like, honestly, like, I don't even really love singing that much. Like, I do like it, but I don't consider myself a singer. I consider myself a guitar player. So I would love if just, like, other people were either writing stuff that I could contribute to, or just, like, contributing more to the songs that I bring to the table. Because I try to keep people involved with every step of the process. And sometimes it's just hard. It's just like, why aren't you all about this? You know, we're a groundbreaking band. You know, I'm not as good as Black Sabbath, obviously. I'm not as good as a lot of other bands, but I do think I'm doing a unique thing here. Like, I don't know a lot of other bands that have like a rap song, a country song, metal stuff, punk, funk, you know, whatever else I do, rock. There's not a lot of other bands that do that. But everyone goes, you know, you go, what kind of music you like? Everyone goes, oh, I listen to everything. Do you? Do you really? I don't think you do. And here's another one of my favorite bands, Motorhead. And we're going to see the same thing here. The first album doesn't have the credits the way the other ones do, so I'm going to skip that one. But look, Overkill. This is their most iconic album. All songs by the three guys in Motorhead. Lemmy Kilmister, Eddie Clark, and Phil Taylor, except for Damage Case, which a fourth guy helped to write, which is fine. And then we got Bomber. Like, I could do it's just like the Black Sabbath thing. Go down. It's the three guys from Motorhead, and you can go throughout their whole discography. Look, you can see I already looked at these. I'm telling you, Ace of Spades, Iron Fist, Another Perfect Day. It's all the same. I'm gonna skip down to one of their later albums. The World Is Yours. Okay, this is way later. This is one I didn't even look at yet. Track listing. All lyrics by Lemmy. Okay, that's fair. But then all the music is by Lemmy, Phil Campbell, and Mickey D. So it's just like... And people love to say that Lemmy is Motorhead. Which is fair. I mean, it's you take him out of the equation, there is no Motorhead, obviously. But at the same time, it's like you got to give the other guys in the band some credit. Like they made it what it is too, you know. And yeah, I really think that like a problem with modern day stuff, and trust me, I'm guilty of this. I'm guilty of like the Frank Zappa one man band stuff where I go, you know. I'll just like program the drums and then I'll play the bass and I'll play the guitar and I'll do this and that. But I really think that what makes these old records so great, especially Motorhead, Sabbath, man, especially the early stuff from the 70s and the 80s, is that they all got together as a unit. They learned the songs, they got them tight as fuck, and then when they got into the studio, they just like laid down a backing track. And then they could do like, you know, little overdubs on top of that. Like Sabbath only has Tony on guitar, so if he wanted to do two guitars, he would just overdub another guitar, which is fine. You can do that stuff, but the way I've been doing it is like to the click track. It's metronomically perfect, and it's just like, you know, the pitch is perfect and everything's so perfect and polished, and it's like, for what, you know, for what? It doesn't really help it. You miss out on the rawness of it, which you need to be in a rock and roll band, and it's just like the way I've been doing stuff. It's too like perfect in terms of like just the timing, and just, you know, you can do as many takes as you want, which you can in this way too, but it's like the whole band's got to be involved. And the guy I was talking about before, the Circle of Tone, who you should check out, he pointed this out too, that like if you go back to like an old AC/DC track and you isolate the guitar, like if you hear just Malcolm's guitar or something, you can hear the drums bleeding through. And it's like, who gives a fuck? Why does it have to be so isolated? Why does it have to be so perfect, you know? That's what makes it kind of better. And I'm going to show you something here. This is Dimebag Darrell from Pantera, one of my favorite guitar players. And this is another thing. It's like you're really missing out on like the sex, drugs, and rock and roll these days too. Like people that do rock and metal are like sometimes kind of fucking nerdy and shit, and it's just like, what the fuck, dude? You need more of an attitude. You need to break shit. Let me show this meme actually before I show the Dimebag thing. But look at this. It's some guy's like pedal set up, like a guitarist pedal thing, and then there's this note here, and it says, "Hey, guitar nerd, quit geeking out over my pedals and go talk to some girls." And it's like, yeah, dude, like, fuck the pedal setup, dude. It's not that deep. It really isn't. Fucking pedals. Fuck your pedals. I mean, I have pedals too, right? I have a fucking distortion pedal. I got a flanger. I got some stuff too. And it's fun to fuck around with it, but it's like, that's not the whole thing. That's a very minor kind of... it's a very minor detail. Like, it should be more about you expressing yourself and the band playing together than it is your fucking pedals. So I just wanted to show that. But here's Dime, and this is exactly, he articulates it perfectly, man.
I've known this for years, but I still have trouble battling with this thought in my head, thinking that others are going to know what little crack or crevice makes you cringe, thinking that others are going to hear what you hear that makes you cringe. Well, little do we realize, it's hard to realize that what may sound like a squeaky, out-of-tune, fucking irritating violin to someone sounds like the most serene, beautiful tone of a fucking saxophone, beautifully in tune in the moonlight. You know, so sassy that can sway you and really make you feel fucking great. So what's a little imperfection to the man who made it might be the fucking one little thing that's always pointed out by one of my close friends like Johnny Bix when we're jamming to a track, and he goes, points out this little squeal or this little quirk thing, and I'm like, oh, does that make you cringe too? No, that's the coolest thing. I never thought Mick Jagger.
I just want to say real quick too, like about that there's like a lot of the old, really old rock and roll records. I'm talking like Elvis, Johnny Cash. You can tell that when it comes to like the guitar solo section, sometimes the guitarist will straight up fuck up and like miss a note, or like kind of like, you know, it's like in Guitar Hero when you miss a note, it's like that weird sound. But it's like, dude, that's the best version of the song, and I wouldn't want to change that for anything, and that's what I want to hear. And it's probably harder to play that perfectly than to play like the real notes perfectly, you know what I mean? Like, it's hard to play the solo with that little fuck up than it is to play. So in a way, it's more unique, even though the guy probably didn't mean to do that at the time. Man, Dime would have thrived during the social media age, by the way. It's a shame that he's not with us no more. But anyway, let's keep listening to him.
Mick Jagger was a great singer. I never thought Bob Dylan was a great singer. Matter of fact, I thought he was one of the worst singers I've ever heard in my fucking life. And multi-millions later, you know, he gets his point across, and you feel his emotion, and how you going to get around that, you know? Maybe that's better than the greatest singer in the world, is to be able to get your message through to someone else through the actual way you sing it and feel it at that time. Guarantee he doesn't sit down all day and all night working his balls off over the coals trying to perfect some lyric. You know what I mean? If that's the case, if this is what it's come to in this day and age, why don't we all just sample our voices, our instruments, and our drums, and just put them in a fucking computer and type in the notes and fucking timing and everything that we want to play, and just let it do the work for us? What the fuck? You know, that's why those old records were so fucking great back in the day, is because there's no way that you could go back and Pro Tool it, slice it, dice it, do this and fix that and fix that. All the imperfections were left there, but really they weren't imperfections. Truly, those were the most honest. You can't beat honesty. Those were the honest that's the honest way the dude sounds. Unmanipulated. Stripped down and honestly from the fucking heart. What is perfect, you know? That's like saying, man, well, dude, you can play with feel and everything if you're a drummer, but you've got to stay in time. You know, you got to be solid. Well, all I can say is some of my favorite fucking records, the tempo shifts 3 or 4 times. When it takes off, you feel the fucking gas, the power behind it, and it goes. You feel the motherfucker's emotion, and it's moving. You can't stop it. It's like a fucking race car when it hits the gas. How can that be wrong? So that cancels that theory that, you know, to be a great drummer, you got to stay in time. That's horseshit. That's like to say to be a great singer or a great guitar player, you got to play in tune. You got to be in pitch, you know? Well, you can spend all fucking day and all night trying to get it exactly right on pitch, and then go hook up your Eventide harmonizer and bend it back out of pitch. That don't make no sense to me. So some of the greatest moments of guitar playing and singing is to hear somebody's fucking pipe screaming, trying to get to that fucking note, and you can hear the rage, and then, oh, or overshooting a note. It's like just overexcited, man. That is fucking emotion. That is a live human being, you know. Fucking some of the other greatest moments I can immediately think of off the top of my head are listening to Black Sabbath records back when Tony Iommi would double his guitars and they'd go out of tune. One would be like here and one would be up here. And then when they would fucking dogfight each other, just listen to the front of Iron Man. That's some of the heaviest sounding shit you'll ever hear. And that's more perfect proof that the live feel, the honesty blows away computer technology and what perfect truly is, if there is such a thing. I'm against it all, man. Let it fucking all hang out, brother.
Look, man, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's... Look, I think you can use the doll as a tool, right? Like, Like sometimes for me, it's hard to sing while you're playing. So if you use the DAW, you can kind of like play something, and then you can kind of like think of the lyrics and the melody while you're hearing it, rather than trying to play it and you keep fucking up. Or if you're like trying to play a solo, you know, you can kind of just listen to the same thing on loop and just be like, oh, that's a cool lick. Let me practice this lick, and then I'll incorporate that into the solo. So like you should use it as a tool, but like don't let it use you. You know what I mean? And another thing he was saying is like the yeah, those old records, man. Like nothing tops that. That's the shit, dude. Like, and that's another thing too. Like I think I remember hearing Paul McCartney say that like what he misses most about the early days of the Beatles and stuff, it wasn't even the gigs, it wasn't even writing stuff. It was just like him and John Lennon like just chilling out, smoking cigs, and just like listening to records, and they would just exchange like you know, Paul would bring a couple records, John would have a couple, and it's like, come over to my apartment, let's just like chill, you know, probably drink some beers or wine or whatever they did, smoke cigs all night, and just like go back and forth talking about music. And it's just like, it's so hard to find that shit these days. It's so hard to find people that like are really passionate about music and want to talk, not only writing new stuff, but just talking about your love of music. Like I could go, I'm a pretty introverted guy, but if you get me talking about music, like I'm gonna talk your ear off, and I'll have to like keep checking with you, be like, I'm not talking too much, am I? I'm not like bothering you, because like I could go on and on and on about Black Sabbath and about Motorhead and about the Beatles and about Ween and about all these bands that I love, about Pantera. And it's just hard, man. Like it's hard to find other people that are just like, I want to live and breathe music, and I want to like spend all my spare time jamming, playing gigs, writing stuff, and recording. That's all I want to fucking do. And it's just like, you get these guys, and again, I'm not trying to like shit on my old bandmates, because they were really really great, but it's like we just didn't have that, where it's just like we're constantly working on stuff, you know. And I get it, man. Like dude, I'm getting on with it too. Like I'm in my 30s, and a lot of my friends, they have job, you know, well they all have jobs, but you know, a lot of them have kids and stuff and families, and that's cool, and I totally get it, and you know, you need to make time for that stuff too. But it's just like, I'm just looking for people to just like commit to just fucking, you know, to rocking. And there's one last clip I want to show. It's this is Billy Corgan talking to Zach Wilde, and this is kind of something I went through too, where it's just like, dude, like if people are joining my band, or if I'm gonna be in a band, like I don't want to feel like when I write a song and show it to other people, like I don't want to feel like I'm a teacher giving boring homework to the kids. Like I want people to be excited about it and be like, oh cool, a new song, like I can't wait to come up with my part and see whatever. Or maybe they don't like it and they're just like, hey, you know, this one's not really for me, can we change it up and whatever. Like just be honest with me is what I want. But this is Billy Corgan. I'm gonna skip ahead a little bit, and he's talking about how, or Zach was talking about how when he joined Ozzy, it was like a dream come true, and like, you know, they obviously tried out like a bunch of different guitar players, and a lot of them were like, you know, it'll be sweet to be Ozzy's guitar player because I'll make a lot of money. But Zach was like, you know, Black Sabbath's my favorite band and I love Ozzy, so that's why he wanted to be in it, and for the money. But what Billy says here just really rang true to me.
So
as a Sabbath guy,
and like for everybody else,
and Ozzy with Rand. I mean, come on.
But a lot of other people, they were just like, yeah, whatever, you know, take it or leave it. I think it's a good paying gig.
Well, to make you laugh, real quick, we just tried out. We needed a guitar player, so we said we'll take anybody. We got 10,000 people submitted to be our new guitar player, and you know, you go through the list and you pick people who got a little bit of a resume, and you could just see people coming through the door. It's just a gig, and you're like, this is my life, motherfucker. You know what I mean? Like
that they, somebody, if they grew up loving the Oakland Raiders and now they're an Oakland Raider, so it's just
you could just tell some people it was just another gig. It was weird to me. It's like, where's your heart in this? Like if you don't like my music, you probably shouldn't be here. You know what I mean? It's like,
without a doubt.
Like, what is that? So I get it. Like, you as a fan, particularly of Sabbath, you must have been like, oh my God.
Yeah, I was just hoping to get an autograph and a picture with Ozzy.
Yeah, so, I mean, that's the main part I wanted to show. Like, you get these other people in your band, and like I said, like, it's awesome because they're there, they're willing to do the work, they're willing to learn the songs, but sometimes it's just like, it's just like almost not good enough that it's just like, motherfucker, like, this is my life, and I really put a lot of work and my heart and soul into these songs. But anyway, yeah, that really spoke to me too. It's just like, like, if you're gonna be in the band, be in the band, like, be a part of this, be like, I want to collaborate. I want to be like all songs written by all the guys in the band type of band. I don't want to just be like, oh, I did everything and like people showed up and whatever. But yeah, I just I just wanted to get the message out there that, like, it's, rock and roll, we got to get away from the click track, the metronomically perfect everything, and just be a little fucking raw. Have some fucking attitude, and don't be afraid to be controversial. Just be yourself. Like, if you're whatever, like, just be yourself. Like, don't be afraid to express what you think is real. And if other people have a problem with it, then they can go fuck themselves. Like, that you were being genuine, so it doesn't matter what other people think. They can suck your monster, you know what I mean? Like, rock and roll is supposed to be controversial, okay? It's supposed to be raw, it's supposed to be gritty. It's not supposed to be perfect. It's okay if it's a little sloppy. I'm not saying that you should be, like, aim to be sloppy, aim to be good, but if you fuck up a little bit, that's fine, And and one more thing I wanted to talk about is I talked about Metallica earlier, and I saw them earlier this year at the Eagles Stadium, and they were really great, man. They were really, really fucking good. It was a great show. They're like, they do have that new album out, but they're kind of more of a nostalgia act. Like, they know what people want to hear. They want to hear the old shit, and they played a lot of Ride the Lightning stuff, which I appreciated. But people love to talk shit on Lars Ulrich, and I get it, man. Like, he's not the best drummer. He does fuck up live. He did kind of fuck up when I saw him. I saw there's this dude on Instagram that, like, his literal entire account is just him, like, pretending to be Lars Ulrich playing other songs, and he's just, like, playing out of time and, like, fucking up the parts. And it's like, one trick pony much? But, he's got followers and people think it's funny, so good for him. I'm not trying to shit on that guy, but it's just like, people shit on Lars Ulrich so much. But it's like, you know what about Lars Ulrich too, on the other hand? Like, he may not be the best drummer, but you know what he is? He's a team player. He knows every single Metallica song that there is. He knows every fucking guitar part. He knows all the lyrics. He knows the bass parts. He knows every part that's coming up. He's been there since the beginning, and it wouldn't be Metallica without him. So people are like, why don't they just replace Lars with some other guy? It's like, because it wouldn't be Metallica without him. Yeah, there's better drummers than him, but fuck those other guys, because... And you know what? And when I saw Lars live, I was like, dude, I get it, actually. He's like, having a great time. He's jumping all over the kit. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he's rocking out. And I appreciate that. So, people are quick to talk shit on him, especially drummers. They love to shit on him. I get it, but at the same time, it's like, dude, he's part of the band. That's why he's fucking there. And he's a team player. And he's just like, he's... In a way, like, it just wouldn't be Metallica without him, They need him there. and he's still doing his thing, and you know, God bless them and him and Metallica. But anyway, what I'm trying to say with this video, get away from the DAW, at least get away from the click track portion of it. Be gritty, you know. It doesn't matter if you can hear the bass or the guitar on the drum track or the drums on the fucking guitar track. Nobody cares. Have a fucking attitude. Break shit. You know, you don't have to go full G.G. Allen and jerk off on stage, but, you know, be fucking aggressive. And also just don't be afraid to be controversial. You know, you don't have to go out of your way and intentionally just piss off your fucking fans or whatever, or just be a dick just for being a dick's sake. But like, be yourself, and if people don't like it, then tell them to go fuck themselves. That's rock and roll. That's punk. Okay, that's what this is. That's what's so appealing about this. So yeah, this stuff's been on my mind for a while, and it's good to get it off my chest. You can't kill rock and roll. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm gonna go play my guitar.